Now, my pleasure to introduce Nick Sanchez, Professor of Economics at Holy Cross College in Worcester. Worcester, do I have that right? Came to America as a refugee from Cuba without his parents. Has taught economics for 32 years at Holy Cross. You do us a great privilege, sir.
Thank you very much. Next year, I will celebrate 50 years living in America. But I am sad to say that our beloved country, when it comes to fiscal responsibility, is beginning to look like a mismanaged Latin American republic. My talk will concentrate on monetary policy and how the press is failing to tell the American public the gravity of our situation. The political establishment has failed us for many years. The Bush administration did nothing to prevent our indebtedness to foreign countries and did nothing to prevent good jobs from being transferred overseas. However, the Obama administration has compounded these problems by engaging in reckless monetary policy and making promises that cannot be paid except by the printing of money. Let me give you the statistics that you should memorize and that you can easily obtain if you forget them, for they are available at the website of the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, one of the branches of our central bank. From 1918 to August of last year, the monetary base, which is what allows the money supply to expand in multiple proportions, grew from 4 billion to 870 billion. This growth of the monetary base occurred at a steady pace for 90 years. Yet, between August of last year and May of this year, the monetary base has risen by almost 1,000 billion. In other words, it has more than doubled in the past 9 months. This is totally reckless behavior that fully deserves a worthless paper medal for fiscal irresponsibility. The press is enamored of the Obama administration, and it appears reluctant to publish the facts. The incredible increase in the monetary base should be headline news every day in the newspapers. The press is not only covering the facts, but it is also participating in the confidence game to assure citizens that all is fine. But let me give you another example. The GDP change from the last quarter of 2008 was minus 6.3%, and for the first quarter of 2009, it was minus 5.5%, a statistic that the press published and that interpreted as a signal that the recession was turning around. But the federal government was also reporting that gross private domestic investment was falling at the annual rate of 23% in the last quarter of 2008, and then that it was falling at the annual rate of 48.9% in the first quarter of 2009. Did you read these numbers in the press? You can access these numbers at the website of the Department of Labor under the Bureau of Economic Analysis, and I even have the figures with me if you want to see me later.
So George Bush
These are horrible statistics, and even the most devoted Keynesian economist would be horrified by them. Yet the press has kept silent on these numbers because it is playing the confidence game, which is nothing but a con game. One day in the future, the American public will wake up to learn that the country is bankrupt, contrary to all the confidence-building news that the press has put to support this fiscally irresponsible administration. The country will go bankrupt when the value of the dollar collapses as a result of inflation. This explosion in the monetary base has been unnecessary and will be unproductive in the long run. Some people argue that bailouts are necessary because some enterprises are too big to fail. When something is too big, the rational policy is to make things smaller, and that is precisely why in America we have bankruptcy laws. Notice that is what is happening now in the auto industry after months of wasted dollars. The explosion in the monetary base and the creation of money out of thin air does not make labor more competitive. We become more competitive when our productivity rises. Let's face it, we're not competitive in the world market for cars because labor costs are too high. The unions of Detroit obtained wage and benefits increases that were far beyond the productivity of labor.
Yeah.
American workers in auto plants in the South earn at least 1/3 less than the auto workers of Detroit. Since we're not competitive, then we lose sales, and that is what leads to unemployment. I came to this country alone almost 50 years ago as part of the Pedro Pan program that brought to America children who were fleeing the tyranny of the Castro regime. When my parents came to this country almost a year later, they went on to have a very difficult life, but the one thing that they taught me was frugality. The Obama administration does not understand the meaning of frugality, or the role that frugality plays in accumulating resources for improving productivity in the long run. Mr. Obama wants people to spend, not to save. Our president was not the child of immigrants, but rather of two people who had much difficulty connecting with the American dream. It saddens me deeply that the president has no sense of fiscal responsibility and is putting this country in peril of destroying its creditworthiness. The press is equally complicit in this turn of events because it fails to be critical of what is happening, and it fails to demand from the public sector the same fiscal responsibilities that it demands from their own unions. Thank you for your attention and have a very happy 4th of July.
Let me introduce Doug Bennett, Boston City Councilor at Large candidate. Big hand.
I'm Tom Moore. I'm here to introduce Doug Bennett. Doug is a proud member of the Massachusetts Liberty Preservation Alliance. We are signing a 10th Amendment petition right over on that, over under the tree there, in order to bring back the constitutional state sovereignty.